Big Sosa, what's good, man?
Good lens.
Thank you for coming by to the Lens of Yashu today. How are you doing so far?
It's another day, another dollar, another chase, another holler.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. Let's get it started. So, growing up in Jamaica, what was like the environment like for you growing up? Would you say you had a great childhood, or was it like a different experience?
A good experience. It's Jamaica. You know, poverty, yeah, but we made it out of it. So it was a good childhood.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And you grew up in Kingston, that's correct?
St. Andrews,
St. Andrews, right?
Kingston, St. Andrews, Kingston, same thing. Kingston 9 to be exact, for people who like to say Kingston all the time.
Nah, most definitely. And like Jamaica, they actually have like a very great music scene and like everything else too. And we'll discuss like more about that. But within your experience, to speak more about the music scene in Jamaica, what makes the country such a unique place when it comes to music, the entertainment scene, and other parts of the culture?
Jamaicans are pretty much, let's be real, when it comes to music, reggae, when you think reggae, you think what? Jamaica. When you say soca, you think of what? Trinidad. To me, Jamaica has their own genre of music when it comes to reggae and dancehall. You know what I'm saying? We have the most unique artists. A lot of people, you guys need to take in like the wide variety of artists what we got. Like it's crazy, because Vibes Cartel, that's one. Sanchez, that's another. At the end of the day, our music is just different. It's to the point where the Hispanics bit reggae and turned into reggaeton, which they basically took dancehall beats and turned into their own.
Definitely. And when did you move to Toronto?
Shit, I don't even remember.
True. But like when you moved to Toronto, what was like that transition like from moving to one country to another and adapting to Western culture as far as like the culture, the attitudes, and much more?
I never really dealt with attitudeless. People are very fascinated by my accent, how I talked. Everybody would just look at me like, say something, say something. It's so cool, so cool. So it was cool. I made a lot of friends. I learned a lot of things in my first year, like snow, that's one. I learned how to ice skate, that's another. But mostly, summertime is like living in Jamaica, but mostly I spend most of my time in Jamaica anyway.
Most definitely. And tell me more about moving to like Massachusetts at one point because you talked about like living in Massachusetts and
For one
what.
third,
Oh, true.
living in Mass is totally different. It's a life-changing experience. Like, I see certain shit go on here, and it's just like, you get away with that here. You'll never get away with that across the border. Or you guys get to do this here, not across the border. So it's like, the experience is like very life-changing. It's different. You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot. It molded me to who I am now. You feel me?
No, most definitely. And living in the States, what was like that experience like for a bit? Was it totally different than like living in Canada?
Hell yeah, by far. By far. It's like, much as Canada, to me, Canada is still developing. Like, there's certain parts of the States what will remind me of Canada. Is like if you go to like Montana, right? It's still not 100% developed. Like, if you're in Montana, you're more likely to see farmland, farmland, farmland. That's like you driving west in Canada. You know what I'm saying? But when you're on the east side from, let's say, from Niagara Falls all the way down to Philly, yeah, you're going to have farmland upstate New York. But as soon as you hit the city, you don't really see those options like that. Everything's more developed. There's more people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big difference when it comes to living there. Food culture is different, right? To me, you have a wider food choices in America than here, because it's like you go to Louisiana, you have Southern style dishes. You go New York you have Polish dishes, Italian dishes. You know what I'm saying? Caribbean dishes. Here, really, everybody's more excited over Jamaican dishes, Asian dishes, you know what I'm saying? But America is like you could be in one part of New York and have everything what we have here in just that one section.
Most definitely. And what's your musical background and history like, and what inspired you to take your music career seriously and take it to like the next level?
Honestly, music runs in my family. I have an uncle named Rapper Robert. I don't really talk to that side of the family, but my dad's side of the family, he had a big artist growing up. Like if you go on YouTube, type in Rapper Robert, I forget his partner's name, but they were pretty big in Jamaica back in the days, back in the 80s. They did their thing. But for me, it was just, I like music. Music got me through the hardest times of my life. You feel me? Till this day, music still does. You know, so when I hear myself on the mic, sounds sick.
For sure. And what's your creative process like when making music, and what would a day in like recording and making music be like for you?
It depends. It depends. Some days it's I hear a beat and I'll just say I'm going to the studio. And I'll go hit the studio and I'll write the song in the studio. Meanwhile, the beat's playing, whatever. Or some days I'll be at home, have the beat on blast, and I'll just be writing, and then I'll practice, then I hit the studio. But most definitely gotta have the Patron or the Casamigos, a couple blunts, make sure we get right before I record so we can do our thing.
Most definitely. And you have like a lot of singles that we'll talk about. So you have First to First, We Be Laughing, No Love, and 100% Sauce. So with those songs, what were like the inspirations and creative processes for those songs?
First to First, that one was like, I just was around some fuck shit, you know? And it's like, when you hear people talking, these niggas ain't active, they ain't put in work. I'm really on the grind from the first to the first. Like, as long as you get money, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? 100% Sauce, that's not my song. It's D. Killian. Rest in peace to my brother. You know what I'm saying? That night, it was good vibes in the studio that night. That's how that came about. There was no like background to it. It was just a good night, good vibes, and we all just, rocked out. We Be Laughing, that was a freestyle. Like, my man dropped the beat, and I just went straight to work. And it sounded fire, so I just ran with it. And No Love as a song was like all over the place, but in all reality, it's like a lot of people be showing too much love to who they're not supposed to be showing love to. So it's like there's situations in the song, what happened. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And from looking at your music, you release more singles than like a project. So,
Yes.
do you feel that like dropping those singles is better to connect with your audience or your fan base than like dropping a project, or are you in the works like of dropping something soon, like a project?
There's a project in the works. It's called OTE, on top of everything. But for now, it's going to be a lot of singles, just to the fact I'm going to build a bigger fan base. Because Nipsey said, if you drop a whole catalog, right, labels hold you to that level. You don't want to be held to that level. You know what I'm saying? So for now, I'm building up my fan base, but there is something in the works. It was supposed to be dropped last year, but due to the passing of brother, we kind of pushed it back, and I kind of got to gather my thoughts. So we're going to wait it out a bit more.
How did you get your stage name, and what's the meaning behind it?
Big Sosa. I got the name Big Sosa when I came home. You feel me? I used to be on the back block trapping. Shout out 40 High. So point blank period. Mostly everybody I did serve was females. And it was like, every time you seen a hot female on the block, it was 9 out of 10, they were coming to grab off of me. You feel me? Not saying what we dealt with or whatever, but, But Poppy on the block was like, yo, bitches love Sosa. And at the time, one of the most hottest songs in the world was Bitches Love Sosa. So they stabbed me with that name.
and you're in like the live performance aspect of music. You're doing like a lot of shows lately. Recently, you did a show for Chantecler and all that. Like you guys hosted the event and all that. So how did you get into that aspect of music, and how was that progression like when performing, and how was that experience like diverging in that aspect?
So as far as performance live, I started at Dripper Toronto with Trey Stacks, DeKillian, We started there. But tables turn, you know how that go. Friends to foes, it is what it is. Chantecler was actually a project that I put on with one of my bros, Brando Lee. That's like my dog, day one. Like we met and it was just love from there. We put that on. That was our concert. We did that ourselves. You know what I'm saying? No help, no nothing. We put up our own money and we did it our way. You know what I'm saying? So all that stems from way back when I was in a dance group called Bada Squad. Shout out the whole gang. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? We used to throw parties in the city of Brampton, all ages. Way back, we were in high school, so you know. So I took aspects of doing that, throwing parties in the States, mixing it all up, and we did our thing.
Stuff. And you actually opened up for the likes of Tech Nine, Chantecler, recently Tony Yayo, and Chuck the Rapper. How was it like opening up for those artists and the impact that it had for you? And how was it like performing and hosting these events?
Hosting events is cool. Like, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I feed off the crowd's energy. You know what I'm saying? They feed off of mine. You know, they told me at the beginning, it's like, yo, look into the crowd, find that one person vibing out with you and vibe with them. But I stopped doing that. I vibe out with the whole building now. You might catch me in the crowd with people. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. Opening for Tech Nine, opening for Afro Man, Dax, Tony Yayo. It's an honor. You know what I'm saying? Because most of them guys are industry guys. They made it. They did their thing. So having the opportunity to do that is great. You know, my boy Brando Lee put all that together for us. So, it's a great opportunity. And every time I'm on stage, I'm going to show out. You know what I'm saying? I rep my city. I do it for my city. So it's always going to be love.
Yeah, most definitely. How do you feel about the Toronto music scene right now? Do you feel that there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to, or do you feel like it's fine?
Right now, it's just politics. That's all it is. Toronto rap scene is just all politics, and it is what it is. You feel me? But that just goes to say that everywhere you have politics. You go to New York, you have politics. You go to California, you have politics. You know what I'm saying? Besides the politics, everything in Toronto is pretty much okay. It's just they gotta sort out the balance between the politics of everything going on.
You're actually a Yankees fan. That's correct.
Always, never will change.
So tell me more about that, and like also like being into like Derek Jeter like as well.
Derek Jeter, I watched him get drafted to the Yankees. First and foremost, that will always be my favorite player. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I lived in the Bronx for a little bit, so that has a big part of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just Yankees is my team. Like, I've never seen myself liking anybody else. Like, Ken Griffey Jr., sure, Barry Bonds, sure, but when you were in the likes of Bernie Williams, Darryl Strawberry, Derek Jeter, Jose Posada, you feel me? And growing up, when you heard baseball in the 90s, you heard about who? Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was what? The Yankees. So you check the background, you know. I don't want to hear anybody say, oh, Yankees are overrated team. They have too much money. Yeah, cool, but we still have the most trophies. So proof's in the pudding.
I usually incorporate this with like a lot of like the artists that I'm working with for this year. Name 3 songs in your catalog that you would recommend for any person that has not heard about you before or that would like to know more from you.
In my catalog,
Yeah.
We Be Laughing. We Be Laughing. First to First, most definitely. And I would gotta say, Love That Money. That's a feature from DeKillian. That's one of my most favorite verse. And I gotta add one more. It's kind of hard because it's like 2 bangers. So I've Spin That Block and Long Gone with Trey Stacks. I would have to say on the spot, Spin That Block featured me. Trey Stacks featured me.
True, most definitely. What's next for you in terms of any music releases, creative projects, and so forth? And do you have any closing remarks you'd like to say?
We have another show coming up April 7th. We are doing another concert. Once again, we're trying to do it every 2 months. So shout out Yang TSP, 25 Vader, shout out all y'all. I have a big feature coming up with Trey Stacks featuring Rick Ross. So stay tuned for that. And as far as anything else, I have a song called Shipments coming out with my boy VK from Albania. I have a song coming out with Matt Kush from Italy. And yeah, that's about it.
Most definitely. Big Sosa, thank you for coming by, man.
You already know. I appreciate you. Shout out everybody. Stay tuned. We're here. We're here to stay.